and we have come to our Insta live session with Jyoti and Smriti. And today's session is one of my favorite. Out of all the relationships which we have discussed, this is the most favorite part of mine, and that is the relationship with self. So we are going to talk about relationship with self more with yeah. Just started. I'm waiting for them. So today we are going to know about how important it is to have a relationship with self. Hi, Jyoti. How are you?
Tony, I'm good.
Great.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hope Smriti is joining soon.
Yeah.
So, Jyoti, today's topic is actually one of my favorite. Out of all the relationship, I think the most important one is the relationship with self. I believe so because one is the mother of all. If it is about you changing, everything changes around you. That's what I believe in.
That's true.
So, how is your relationship with self? Let's get to know about
To be very frank, I have an amazing relationship with myself, and that's the only reason why I am where I am today. So it's about loving yourself because self-love sets the tone regarding what relationship you can have with others. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love anyone else in the
that.
damn
Bingo.
world.
That's definitely there. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love anyone else. Well, we'll talk more about it. Just give me a minute. I guess Smriti is... Yeah, I've invited her again. So, do you see, how things changes during, people change, people evolve. I know a lot of people who have a lot of complaints about life, their surroundings, people around them. But then there are also a lot of people who are very much in peace with themselves, right? I think it seems that you have realized something. And over the years, also, I have gone through that evolution process, and I think every one of us goes through that. So it's very important to understand how this thing works, how to make peace with yourself. Being a challenger, I didn't knew that, I was someone who is holding on to that control of not letting go. Everything should be in my control, and I just feel weak if that does goes out of my hand, and that was keeping me away from a lot of things, from my happiness basically. So what was it for you? I welcome Smriti as well. Smriti, tell me about yourself in that case. Like, what
Hi.
is your relationship with self?
Uh, well, relationship mainly based on our values, I would say, with self-values. We grow up with many different values around us from our childhood. Like our parents give us lots of values, like our surrounding gives us lots of values, and all this kind of values generally create lots of examples in our mindset.
True.
And because of these values, when we do not meet up in our regular life, day-to-day life, or you can say frequently, if we don't meet up with these values, that will work adversely on our mindset.
True.
So that's why
You're talking about the
self-love,
fundamentals with which a person
self-care.
is made of, right?
Correct. So it's kind of a, relationship with self can only be good if actually our relation, I mean, if we are meeting up with our values in our regular day-to-day life.
So I want to
That's
get
what
an
I
example
feel.
from both of you. Like, what drives you? Like, let's start with Smriti. Like, what is really that really drives you? You take all your decisions of your life basis on those core which you're born with, probably, which you have grown up with, and everything around you is surrounded with those. The decision, everything is driven by those particular core fundamentals which you have. Like, what drives you? Like, whatever decisions you are taking.
Nowadays too, I am feeling balanced a lot. Being a coach,
Nice to know.
I think I were able to align my values at
So
some
what
extent.
are your values?
So,
Let us know. What are your values? What are your core values?
well, my four values, main important four values is first is self-love,
Mm-hmm.
balance, family, logic. These all are my important values around me.
So does
So I
it
think,
get fulfilled?
sorry, what you said? Come
Does it
again?
get fulfilled in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, I think that is fully filling it up in my day-to-day life. Let me give you an example, what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if a person has a value called cleanliness, since childhood, if somebody want a clean house or a clean platform, I would say, or a clean bedroom, if a person is so obsessed with that kind of cleanliness, and if a person is not getting that from their partner or this in that surrounding, the
Mm-hmm.
person is going to get emotionally irritated, I would say.
Okay. So how to deal with that? Let's talk to Jyoti. Like, what are your core, fundamentals which drives all the decisions of your life and how you fulfill it in your life?
Sure, Saloni. So, what I understand is, so from the very basic, from the very childhood, what we have been taught is communication, believe, and behave. So, there is a certain way wherein you will be communicating with others. There's a certain way, certain things that you'll have to believe. So, there is a belief system that has been developed in us, and exactly how, whatsoever people are responding to you, you have to behave in a particular way. Correct. So that's
True.
the coding that we are talking about here. That has been created from the very beginning of our childhood. So it's very easy to change that coding over a period of time. It cannot happen all of a sudden, but definitely over a period of time it will happen. And you know what? There is a famous saying called self-love, self-respect, and self-worth. So it
Mm.
all comes from self because you cannot get it from anywhere else in the world. So the best
Bingo to
relationship,
that.
if you
I would
want to,
rather say people are looking it from someone else, and that's what is making them unhappy. If
exactly, as I said
I'm
at the
right.
start of the call, you cannot have a relationship, good relationship with others if you cannot have a best relationship with yourself. So there will always be ups and downs, and there will always be clashes. So what we need to learn here is self-compassion, self-resilience, and self-worth. If we are able to understand these things, everything else will get into place.
I would
So
say that I agree with you totally. And along with this, I would say that, sometimes we expect from others to fulfill our values,
Mhm.
which is absolutely wrong, I would say. If I
actually,
have some, if I have some value, that values are specifically for me, and I'm supposed to fulfill. If I have a value for having a clean environment around me, then I am not supposed to expect the same thing from others around me. I'm supposed to do that.
absolutely
I'm
correct. Yes,
supposed
I guess
to
most of the
take charge.
problems will be resolved if people stop expecting others to be a part of their, core system, and expecting themselves for us to become their, dependent on their value system or just following theirs. So everyone has
Yeah,
their
and
own system of working.
that's true. And along with this, when we start expecting from others instead of taking charge on ourselves, our mindset will have mess, because the
That's true.
other person will have different set of values in them. As
True.
we all are different personality, I am a reformer, you are a challenger. You will have different set of values in you. I will have different set of values in me. And if I will start expecting my values from you, and if you start expecting your values from me, it will create a total mess. Instead
True.
Okay, what?
of
I
that,
totally agree to that. Yes. Because it's
Mhm.
easy to
instead of that,
play a blame game,
yeah,
because of that someone this happened, because of that someone that happened. So I always believe that if you're really at the mercy of an external situation which you cannot control, you'll lead all your life unhappy. That's what I really believe, that you cannot be at the mercy of an external situation because you are not taking accountability of your life. Jyoti, do you agree to that?
Yes, exactly. that's where self-acceptance, self-care gets into picture. Whatever situations or whatever circumstances you're going through, you need to take charge. You need to take responsibility of that no one else. It's your mindset. It's your whatever that is causing this particular pain, and that's when you get into self-care. All right. So whenever you are taking a decision, also as Smriti just said, that the baselines, the values that we possess. So suppose I have my priority in my life as leadership. That's my core value. Okay, whatever decisions I'm taking, I need to be in charge of that. If I am, if someone is trying to, not follow me or disrespect me, I'll start hating that particular
And
situation. So
I
it
think during the journey, you kind of realize that this is your core. At that time, consciously, we do not know. I remember an incident where someone was trying to tell you, I'll do it for you. You do not worry. But somehow I was not feeling good. Like, why would someone else do it for me? Why I cannot do it for myself? I told the person, you will not do it for me. You will teach me one so that from the next time I'm going to do it by myself. No, even in that sense, it happens that people are happy that someone else does take the burden off their shoulder and does things for them. But I was not happy about it. And then I realized that one of my core values is independence. Like for me, I had to be independent of my own decisions. I had to take the responsibility independently. Everything, my decisions has to be independent of people around me. The accountability has to be there. So, and I did not realize till that time that what was driving, why every time, when there was something, a dependency, I was feeling very bogged down, I was feeling frustrated, I used to feel upset about this thing. So, what is the best way a person can actually understand their core?
I think stop looking for validations from outside world. So suppose if you have a self-worth, if you know you are good at this particular thing, if you're bad at, you should have a talk with your inner self apart, rather than, getting validation from the world outside or your relatives.
That's an amazing point, actually. That's an amazing point, yes.
Along with this, along with validation, start taking action, start taking charge. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing because most of the time we keep on thinking that yeah, I'm wrong out this place. I shall do this thing. I shall do this thing. We also make sometimes list also, but we don't do that. We don't take actions. So if
the lists are vague without an action, it has to be backed by a fruitful action of taking charge of the self. By the way, action doesn't mean you go and bang the other person that why you are not able to understand what's driving you, right? So,
well, sometimes not taking an action is also an action. You are acting against yourself.
I've also been, I was into one conversation and where it was told that your cores are always incongruent with whatever decisions you take. The only difference is if it's fulfilling it in a positive way, it's driving your purpose. But if it's not serving your purpose. But in any way, it's congruent. Whatever decision I'm taking, be it negative, be it positive, that's the best we think at that point of time. So definitely that's been driven by those core fundamentals which we have, right?
Yes,
so we have to understand what's serving our purpose. That's what I feel.
I just got reminded of a famous term that we came across, some months down the line. That is COI. COI, that is cost of inaction. Suppose you are stuck in a particular job or in a particular relationship, that particular relationship or that particular, environment is not making you feel cozy or not making you yourself. So what is the cost of inaction? If you are not going to take an action today, either you need to talk to that person, to your surroundings or someone or the other. If you're not talking, what you're doing, you are spoiling your brain, you are spoiling your energy, you are getting into that mess every now and then. And that is the cost of inaction. It can be your life. It can be your life. It can be your anything, whatever you can be your best at. So don't, you need to understand what is the cost of inaction if you are not taking action. So that's a very important point.
True. That's true. And along with this, negative thinking or negative words about yourself, that is also the important that also plays very important part in our self-care. If we keep on speaking something negative or wrong things about ourselves, we will start seeing ourselves as a that kind of person.
I
And
Loser.
agree to that completely. You know, the kind of words which we use for ourselves, oh, I'm not worthy of it, or probably I do not deserve it, I'm not good enough, I'm this, I'm not beautiful enough, I might not be able to do it, it is difficult for me, it's struggle for me. So I think we keep on, saying all these things for ourselves. We are very too harsh on ourselves. I feel so. When people do not meet our expectations, we somehow tend to forgive them also at times. But we are not able to meet our own expectations, we become harsh and start bashing ourselves that we are not good enough. How to
Yes,
get out or rid that feeling of self, worthlessness, or that fear that, that's the reason most of the people do not take action. And the very, I think, grounded and the very deep rooted thing is the fear within them. What can go wrong? That is the first thought that comes to anyone's mind, is what will go wrong instead of what can go right.
correct.
So how we can be fearless about taking that accountability and take that action towards the right direction, which can elevate our state of mind, and state of life as well.
Saloni, what the particular instance that you just shared, I just got reminded of one thing. So, there are learned people out there who have been graduates or postgraduates. They have a habit of getting into affirmations. So, every morning, every evening, they will get into affirmations, 6, 7 affirmations they'll do. But they are not realistic about their self-talk. When they say,
Yes.
I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I cannot do this. So unconsciously they're doing it, but consciously they are getting into affirmations. So that affirmations and this will not go hand in hand, guys.
So basically,
So if you
you
are
have to feel what you say and start finding evidences for that, right?
exactly, yes, that's what.
So our mind works in a
that's
way
true.
where whatever we
Affirmation,
say to our mind, if you just start finding evidences for those things, right? If you think that you are dumb, even if you are the most
yeah,
smartest person on earth,
obviously.
but if you tell your mind you are dumb, you will start finding evidences of every single thing that will prove you that you are dumb. It's like that particular quote that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb the tree, it will think all its life that it is dumb.
Correct.
That's true. Along with this, I think affirmations will also keep ourselves up. And since we are valuing our values, since we start valuing our values, we can understand that other person might have their values and we can forgive them. Everybody says that accept this, forgive this, let it go. But actually in a real life, this all things is not easy for everybody.
I think the first is
And
acceptance is the most important
why it
before
is not
accepting anything.
easy? Yeah,
Mhm.
why it is not easy? Because we cannot understand the simple thing that everybody
It's
is having
different.
different mindset and different values in their mind. So that mismatch a lot. And because of the same, they are thinking differently and we are thinking differently.
And
And
the tragedy
because
is,
of
yes, the tragedy is, people, in order to get that resolved, they get this information from all over the world. With AI coming into picture, with Google and everywhere, they will sort out information, but they don't understand the difference between information and implementation. So there is
correct,
not a very thin line. There is a very thick line. You can have all the information till the time you're not implemented, as
I would
good
rather say
as
they will
nothing.
find answers from the whole universe except finding answers from themselves. You are the closest to
Exactly.
yourself. You will
that's
go
true.
miles to look for
That's true.
answers, except of asking the very simplest one to yourself, and it will be the most quickest answer you can get and the most accurate answer you will get, but they will not go, not go at all. So it's very important to first dig down on yourself and ask the relevant questions, about
Mhm.
everything, how you're feeling. I think it's also really important for me. If you agree on that, please, I'll want to know about it.
I,
That
I, I
it's very
totally
important to
agree.
understand your negativities as well and also accept it. If you try to get rid of it, like you only think, positive, positive, and I'm not able to accept my negativities, it's going to cause, a harm a damage which cannot be fathomed, right? Because it has been made that way. Everything has to be balanced. A positive has to be have a negative. A person cannot be perfect. So
Let
most of the
go.
time, the major damage which I've seen on people, which they come and say is like, I'm not perfect. I'm making mistakes. I have this negative thing in me. I have that negative thing on me. I'm not feeling positive. I'm not thinking positive. That makes me a bad person. So, and that puts more harm. That creates more harm in that. I think it's very important to also accept your negative self so that you can, instead of ignoring it, suppressing it, you can just accept it and channelize it in a better way that can help you serve your purpose. What do you say, like Jyoti, like on this?
Correct. I think life is a roller coaster ride. So definitely there will be phases wherein you will be sad. Don't try to get rid of that sadness. Just accept it the way it is. And then automatically that phase will go. Even the best of the best phases cannot stay forever. So
Correct.
definitely that's just, the tent. So just let it go. Once you start accepting it, the problem where, Saloni, the problem is people get so adamant to get into positivity, to get something done, and that's when things doesn't happen. You need to go with the flow. Once you will just do your task, like it's said in the Gita, karm kar phal ki ichha mat kar. So,
Yes.
if we understand that particular perspective, things will eventually fall into place. There is no second thought about it. So
I
stop
think that's the
fibbing.
best way to control is to let go.
Exactly. Let it go.
You agree to
Actually,
that,
if
Shruti?
you see, yeah, I totally agree to that. If you see in a real life, how many lives are perfect? How many people are perfect?
None.
You yourself is perfect or what? and and you have to accept that thing that we are perfectly imperfect. That is
Hey,
perfect.
that is an awesome line, I would
Imperfection
rather
is
say.
perfection, yeah. Come on. I mean, nobody's life is so like I
I
mean,
think
simple
what it
and
is very
all kind
important,
of
like
thing.
these imperfections are given for a reason. Because if everybody starts being perfect, there will not be any difference between Jyoti, Smriti, and Saloni. Because there is a definition of perfect
Obviously.
which everyone falls into. What will make us unique? Jyoti and Saloni and Smriti, no one will be able to differentiate. If I talk about, the leadership, people will think about Jyoti. If I talk about compassion, probably they will think of Smriti. If someone talks about independence, they might think of Saloni. But then if everyone is perfect, then there is no uniqueness. I think imperfection in itself is perfect. It has been given, no, it's the flaws, it's the imperfections which make people unique and different and, follow their own purpose and missions of their life. Do
Correct.
you agree
That's
to that?
true.
So
That's true.
bottom line is stop seeking validation from outside world. Seek validation
Correct.
from your own self.
And have the courage to speak up. If you're really
Correct.
feeling that you really need that help, and I would rather say it's very important to ask for that help if you are stuck of not able to understand and the relationship with the best or the first relationship which ever start when the time you put yourself on earth is the relationship with your own self, right? So I think it's very important to start from there if you really want to flourish in all the other relationships of your life, including the relationship which you make with your parents, your friends, your partners, your colleagues, or whatever it is. It's very important to start with self. And if you are finding yourself lost in the midst of an ocean, please reach out for help. It's very important and it's okay to want to take that help. In fact, I would rather encourage people to take that help if they're really stuck.
Correct.
Actually, because if you are happy, your surrounding itself will start improving on its own. I mean, if you are sad, uh, for me, if you take my example in my family, my husband and my kids are there just now with me. So if I'll start getting angry or getting sad, they will also become sad. They will also start feeling that way that what is happening to her, that
Mhm.
because of that, they will also be sad. So if you are happy, your surrounding will
So
start being happy too. So obviously it
I don't think
affects everywhere.
that's true. That's completely right. I would
I
rather
would
actually
rather
agree with
I
that.
do that.
So Saloni, I
Yes,
think
I
in,
completely
in
agree.
India, in India, there is a notion that if you are seeking help from someone, if
That's
you are stuck
everyone.
somewhere, so
Everyone.
you are going to a therapist, or you are going to a doctor, you are going to a psychiatrist. It's not like that. Even the people who are doing best in their industry, maybe the CEOs of the company, or all the entrepreneurs, even they at times need a push, because they may be doing excellent in their current job, but what have taken them till here will not take them till there. So
Yes,
there is a push
true.
required, and that's where you all need to seek out help for. So don't hesitate to seek out, even to your friends, family, or any one of us.
I want to ask my audience if anyone has any issues they want to actually talk about. Like if whoever is watching this live want to say something or want to ask something, if they have any issue with it that they can communicate to you. And if that's the case, you can also reach out to us on one-on-one. Tony, Shruti, and Smriti, and whomever you feel like them can help you, please do reach out to us, and we will be, more than happy to help you.
Correct.
Okay, I think there is no question as of now from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting conversation and very insightful. One of my favorite topics. Thanks for being, such an amazing guest here.
Thanks,
We'll
Saloni.
talk more
Thanks,
about
Smriti.
this in our next session. We'll wrap it up here for today. And it was an amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. See ya.
Someone I got a message from someone like, unfortunately now consulting a therapist depends on me no longer taboo. Yes, it is. It is again. The awareness is there, but it still has to go a long way. I know a lot
Correct.
of people here who are not able to answer this. I personally know, even after knowing that I'm a coach, even if I tell them, today don't leave, I ask them to go to someone else, they will not. I tell you what happens when people will bring positive. Don't just go to a friend, chill at the bar. You'll be fine. So that is very important where people have to come out, and it's very important for you to also come out of your vulnerability. And I'm sure that everyone have gone through depression, and is clinically, diagnosed with depression and anxiety at one stage when they're being suicidal. And I think I was more than brave enough to come out. And I know everyone else, it's just a matter of a push.
Correct.
I think Saloni, your voice is echoing a lot. Everybody's voice is echoing. I think somebody
Two devices are on, I guess.
yes, logged in with two devices.
I think till now it was okay, but that's okay. I think we are done with the session. So
Yes.
we'll join again on Tuesdays and Fridays at the same time, 5 p.m. So if you have any questions, reach out to any one of us, and we'll be glad to connect. If you want to know your baselines, if you want to,
We are joining on Tuesday, 8 p.m.
yes.
Okay. And now, that's all for today. Thank you, lovely ladies, for being here.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.